Time outside of work should be used to build your soul. It should be used to build your potential. I see so many people talk in really high positions, doctors, lawyers, consultants, that I ask them, hey, what do you do for fun? And they tell me nothing. I never had the time to accumulate a hobby, or I wanted to do this thing always, but I never really got into it as I should have. And I've always wondered why it is that people feel that that's an okay thing, right? Your time outside of work, the thing that you're required to do as a member of certain societies, is the default. But to expand outside of work, the hours after you get back should be dedicated, I believe, to building up your soul. Now, a lot of people have families, they have significant others or obligations that take a lot of their time. They want to go to the gym and this and that, which is good for them, good for their health. But so many people use that as an excuse to not grow, to not expand. And I always see it as such a waste of potential. I understand it's difficult for a lot of people to comprehend that time can actually help build income, and it can help build you up as a person. But it's incredibly important to foster that belief in yourself, to say, hey, I wanted to learn this thing my entire life. All I gotta do today, just like that, start doing it. I see a lot of inspirational speakers talk about how easy it is, and how a single moment in your life can trigger something in you that will change your life forever. And that's definitely been the case for me. About 6 months ago, I started listening to a lot of Grant Cardone and a lot of Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins, and instead of just passively accruing this information, though I did for a lot of years before that, I decided, hey, I know what I want to do, let's do it. Let's spend the time now to foster the habits to make this thing a reality, because my family, my friends in general, don't necessarily understand the value of that in my own life. And so I should understand that value, right? I should give myself the time to build those things that I believe are important to my mental health. So what are some things that you can do to start using that time outside of work and not feel so aimless and lost? The first thing I would say is decide really what it is that you're passionate about outside of your work. If you're lucky enough to be working in a field that you are passionate in, then so be it. Get better at that thing. Improve your quality of life by improving your skills, right? If you're in work that requires you to talk to people outside of work, go and find opportunities that make you network, that give you an opportunity to get even better at finding niches in conversations that you can occupy, things that you're particularly good at doing. The second thing is, if you want to find something to do outside of work, you have to find people to a degree that also want to do these things. I have seen in my own life, ever since I started talking consistently with people that are creative or entrepreneurs, that they inspire me all the time. They inspire me by telling me stories about how they're struggling and how it relates to my own life. They inspire me by telling me, hey, I came up with a new thing today and it was this cool, and I want you to check it out. And when I see it, I'm like, whoa, wow, this is amazing. Like you created this thing out of absolutely nothing, and out of your time and your willingness to explore your own soul. And every single time I get shown something like that, where someone went out of their way to do something that they weren't necessarily required to do by society, it inspires me. So make friends with people that do these types of things too. And that might require you to ditch some of your friends that you already have. Some of the people that are kind of in their own ways and not necessarily improving themselves all the time. And It's a hard thing to do, I understand, but at the end of the day, if you want to be the best you can be, then you need to find people that are also trying to be that way. I believe that for a little while, and you have to be kind and compassionate, obviously, to most of society, because you never know where inspiration is going to come from, and you never know when you're going to find those people that might be your friends forever that will help you develop the traits, the talents that you want. Third thing is resources. Outside of people, you should find the thing that you really want to do, and you should go find people that are doing it already, doing it really good to the point where you want to do it, and aspire to be those people. Connect with them, right? On Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, go and find those people, and they will give you a much easier route to get into the things that you're doing. But there's never going to be anything besides your own willingness to go and do the thing day by day that's going to move you along. That is the fundamental thing here. On top of all three of these things that I just said, having habits in place that allow you to establish the time to explore your hobby, the thing that you really want to do, you need to get those in place. You need to somehow get those in place. And there's books that talk about this. Again, another resource, Atomic Habits by James Clear, talks very clearly about strategies that you can use and employ consistently in your life to help build you up. Something that I've found incredibly important because you cannot rely on inspiration alone to get you places. You have to have a level of dedication that will take away from potentially your creativity in the moment, but over time you'll create more and more and more, and I promise you that your successes will show over time. Regardless of how many failures you have to continue. You have to continue. There's this sense of eternal progress that we have to instill into ourselves to believe that we can make it someplace that we want to go. And I think in America in particular, the lack of a passionate workflow outside of work, a passionate way to enjoy life outside of work, is something that a lot of people are missing, and something that I believe if people adopt, that they will have deeper connections with people, they will have a more satisfying life, and probably be more valuable thus in society. Something that will passively increase their income. Build yourself. Jim Rohn always says, build yourself. Building yourself will make you necessarily more valuable to everyone around you in your life. So if you're someone that's kind of lacking motivation, if you're someone that seems to believe that they don't have a large enough impact in their work life or the initiatives that they're a part of, building up that courage, that inspiration, the confidence to go and actualize your potential outside of work, outside of the things that your family and society demanded of you, will give you the power to uplift other people. Something that our world really needs right now. People like you to really believe in themselves and say, hey, as an individual, I have the power to go and change my life. And so I will give other people the power to change theirs. Passions come from family. Passion comes from lasting genetic imprints, in my opinion. If you're struggling to figure out what it is that you could be passionate about, take a look back when you were younger. When you were much, much younger, to the point where you never knew about all these societal norms and things like that, what did you genuinely enjoy doing? What could you lose yourself in for hours where your parents would call you and you'd be like, and you kind of wake up out of a state of flow, right? When you find those moments in your childhood, link them with things that your family does. Link them with things that your relatives have done. And you'll realize very quickly that in your genetic pool, in the things that your family has been doing for generations, you will find purpose for yourself. My relatives, my grandfathers, were leaders in their communities. They were people that were respected because they were intelligent and creative. A lot of my family is artists, painters, people that create music, collages, you name it, fashion. It so turns out that my passions are leadership and art. It's not so hard to realize what you can do with your time if you just take a moment to sit there and look at what is available to you through your genetics and through your environment. I promise you have more time than you think you do. It's just a matter of knowing how to spend it. So I make these vlogs every day. My mission is to give y'all some tools to build your emotional intelligence so that we can work together to make society more robust and hopefully convince other human beings to also uplift themselves and their communities. Each one teach one. So there's some links in the description to my other social media. I will be starting up a Instagram live. If any of you want some life advice or just want to talk, it's going to be a good opportunity for you to come along and tell me some things about life and what you're going through, and maybe we can parse through it together. As per usual, subscribe, like, share with anyone that you can. It helps spread the message and helps build the brand. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. You got this. Actualize your potential.